What's up, everybody? Welcome to iOS 3 Reply Sunday. That's what we're going to call this when we do replies. And actually, I like doing this. I don't mind typing, but I also feel like my point doesn't come across when I'm typing sometimes. And I can sound aggressive when I'm typing, and sometimes I just can't get my point across because I'm not a good typer. I'm not good at expressing myself through typing. I'm not a writer. So I'm more of a interactive and animated type person. So here we go. All right, so we got this HOD 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 was saying on a comment about my reply to Alex Kyle. So this is just my brain thinking weird stuff, but it could be the case that you're thinking inside the box, a flexible dieting bullshit box, assuming that it would be your very own box, thinking outside the box. Okay, here's the thing: flexible dieting is not new. Okay, bodybuilders were doing this 25 years ago, and we called it off-season. That's what we called it. And here's what we would do. We would take in most of our macronutrients through clean foods. Chicken, fish, beef, sweet potatoes, rice, etc. But we would have what we called cheat meals, junk meals, whatever you want to call it. Pretty much every day we would have something like that we wanted that we wouldn't get while we're on a contest diet, okay? And now what happened with that is it gives you that mental break, which I think that internet, IAFYM and flexible dieting really is all about. It's a mental thing. It's not a physical thing, okay? This is for the people that really cannot stay super strict on the diet for 20 weeks. They need that mental release. So rather than scheduling 1 week cheat meals or every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be, they have a tendency to eat it every day. So mentally it allows them to stay on the diet. But technically if you're eating foods that have junk in them like sugar, trans fats, whatever, that stuff's not good for your body. So technically you're not really sticking to an eating plan. You're doing what we did in the off season, and that was the easy way for us to do it. So I've done it, and I've done it for years and years and years, but I don't call it flexible dieting. I call it, that's what happens in the off season. If I like pizza, I eat pizza. If I like burritos, I eat burritos. But 6 out of my 7 meals a day are clean. And this is what allows me to stay leaner in the off season. Now, if I decide to have 2 or 3 of those meals that are not clean meals, so they're junk or whatever's in them, I get fatter. Also, if I have 1 meal every day, still within my macros, I get fatter than if I didn't have them. So now the way I combat that is I schedule now. Wednesdays, I get junk meals, which usually is sushi, all you can eat sushi at the buffet. Fridays, Chipotle. Saturday, Elevation Burger. And Sunday pizza. So I have 4 what I call cheat meals that actually help my metabolism, and I stay leaner. I'm able to train harder. I'm able to keep my muscle mass moving forward, not staying at under 170 pounds or underneath. And that's what I'm really trying to get at, what you guys are not seeing. You can stay lean. You can get lean. You can be in competition shape doing the flexible dieting, but you are not going to become I haven't seen one monster, not one 200-pound plus guy, period, that's used intermittent fasting, if it fits in your macros, or flexible dieting. They have not come around. So why? Why are we able to produce so much bigger bodybuilders doing it without those things? Because if, the new fad nowadays is the physique look. It's, bodybuilding is becoming, for the general public and most people that are reading what I'm writing, it's becoming about that, about aesthetics and all this stuff. You can be 250 pounds with aesthetics. Aesthetics doesn't mean that you're under 190 pounds. And I've seen plenty of 180-pound guys who their aesthetics are absolutely shitty, and they do flexible dieting and all that stuff too. So it's been changing and evolving, but I am not one of those smaller aesthetic guys. As a matter of fact, when I'm on stage, whether I'm a heavyweight, super heavyweight, light heavy, whatever it is, I'm always told, you have the smallest waist on stage. Aesthetically, you have more aesthetically pleasing just about any guy in the class. So I'm aesthetic, I'm bigger. Why would I want to change that and go backwards and drop weight just to do flexible dieting? It doesn't make any sense to me. So, and we're getting a lot of the flexible dieters popping on here, and they're wanting to basically push the flexible dieting thing. And another guy on here, which was, let's see, he was in another video, which was talking about Big J Extreme Fitness. And it was, let's see, tracking my progress. He said, if you lose all your gains once you come off steroids, then why is Big J still huge and is no longer taking steroids? Please explain, thanks. Now, we've gone over this in another video. Big J clearly is a big dude. Now, if you look at him, big head, big hands, big guy, naturally big guy, which means if he never touched a drug and trained in the gym, his genetics would probably allow him to be about 230 pounds to begin with. He's got some joint issues, he's got some injuries that he deals with, but other than that, he is a pretty big guy. Now, when he was on the gear, he was over 300 pounds. So now that he's off the gear, he admittedly says that he's down to like 250. That's a 50-pound muscle loss, okay? That's a huge amount of muscle to lose. Now, on top of that, Bruno's around over here. He's wanting me to pet him. Now, after a 50-pound muscle loss, he was probably a lot leaner when he was on the gear, which means that he's fatter now when he's off the gear, and he does have injuries which will allow him to not train the same way he did when he was on gear. So now you're looking at it's probably more muscle lost than 50 pounds because he's not as lean as he was when he was on the gear. So now you're looking at like a 60-pound, 65-pound muscle loss. Does that sound like you kept a lot when you came off the gear? Most guys are not even going to gain 60-something pounds in their entire steroid-taking career. And this guy has lost that weight, and he's still strong, he's still big, he's still a good-sized guy, and he's still strong, but he has the injuries, and he has the weight that he's lost. So yes, he's big, but he would have been big whether he took anything or not. So I hope this explains your question. And we are doing Reply Sunday, and we're out.